Hey guys, it's a girl Kdid. My hair's getting cut off. No, it's not. It's not trying to play me. Hey guys, it's a girl Kdid. This is, and I'm not gonna cut you out. I don't like to edit in what's not. So y'all about to get this. And I hope y'all be okay. If y'all watch my vlogs, you know I'm not the one like, this is also not, like, sorry. Using my phone is giving me vibes. So work with me, work with your girl, okay? So, as you know, if you don't know, I'm Kdid, and I used to be in shelter. I used to be homeless in New York City, and now I'm an advocate. And somebody said today they are a survivor, and that is I feel like when people hear survivors, I think, as a guy says, it's like more empowering. When people hear just you're homeless, it just sounds like a negative thing. They don't give you the right vibe. The narrative is not the same as like, oh, a survivor of homelessness. That sounds much more better. People feel like you overcome something, which you did. You had to fight. If you were in a shelter, you were in the street. If I didn't do the street, I did shelter. You have to fight. It's mad loud. Sorry. You have to fight for your way out. Before they came over here, I'm sorry. It was nice and quiet. And now they got 2 kids. And I understand. I understand. But it's a lot. So hopefully this is sounding correctly. I don't want to retape. I want to see how I'm going to say what I got to say. And hopefully I'm speaking loud enough that it overpowers everything around me. But yes, believe me, so that's good. But being in shelter can be a lot. It can be overwhelming for a person. It can be overwhelming for a family. It's just a lot, and you go in one way, and you definitely come out another way, traumatized and hot mess. Some people have nice stories, but over the average of people who are in the shelter, averagely, it seems like people have horror stories. No matter which walk of life, you're black, white, Spanish, Asian. Honestly, the other people are not higher. Like compared to people in shelters, really people are black, Hispanics. If you know now, we have a lot of Hispanic migrants, so they're coming over and they're taking over the shelter system. But before that population came in droves, black people were the highest and the Hispanics were lower. But it still was too much people, too much families, too much anybody who are homeless in that population. It don't matter what background they are. The point is that somebody's homeless, and that means somebody doesn't have a home. And that's a problem, And a lot of them are children, and that's kind of sad thing about it. A lot of them are youth, living on the street, things like that. So we need to get better at this and better resources. And foster kids are coming out of systems. Parents take it. Granted, I could say this. I didn't have a child who aged out. And I know some foster kids do come with problems, but sometimes it just takes love. Sometimes it just takes, you just got to get them to the system, and hopefully the system can help them. Because some things are, I was in a trauma-informed home, so that could also be it. They have different types of homes, and some people could take more than others. I didn't go that extra because I know I'm a single parent, and it would be too much for me to tackle. Single parent who could do this stuff, good for you. But I'm a single parent. My daughter, I have another daughter, KK. For me to take a high needs person, unless they have to me, I think I could take probably in my mind, I could be totally probably an autistic kid, one of those kind of kids. That makes sense. But I think a kid who's quote unquote normal but just give trouble, I think it would be hard for me to take those kind of kids. Because in my mind, a person who has Down syndrome, I know there's a lot of work. I'm not trying to downplay the work y'all do as parents with those kind of kids, or special needs kids. But I feel like my mind could put it one child just being bad because of trauma, and one child just because they're born this way. I can handle it better in my mind. But I feel like either way, no matter what kind of kid you have, kids are kids and they're gonna do kid stuff. That's what they do. How did I get to this point? And I feel like I'm recording for the wrong channel right now, the stuff that I'm saying. But it's getting louder. Okay. Trying to be as loud as I can and just pronunciate and articulate what I'm gonna say. But being in shelter can be a lot. And I was listening today to this thing for Help by Housing by NYU for their Speakers Bureau, People Lived Experience, peer group. And people were talking about their experiences and things like that. And one person said, it's kind of, he had cancer, right? And he's also been homeless 12 years in a row. 6 in the system, 6 out the system, right? So basically 6 in shelter, 6 on the street. And he said, when you're homeless at one, it just always feel like you're always at the risk, even with all the money you have, or better than you are before. You always feel like you are at risk at being homeless again because it happened already. You're just never secure in a way, right? Maybe I don't know how much money he's making, so I can't tell you because he's making 20,000 a year. So he feels this way, making 70,000 a year, 1K. Especially because I don't have a job. Anything can be taken away from me anytime because I'm a contractor. But honestly, God has my back, so no matter what happens, without God forbid, it happens again or anything, God has me, and I know that time was difficult and it made me grow as a person in general. And I'm hopefully not going to start to be an advocate. But it's hard when you've been in that position before. You're like, that could definitely happen to me again. And because I'm a person who don't have nothing other than just Christ, just Christ and my baby, it's very hard to kind of go out there and just really plunge in it. Like, I haven't been really looking for apartments. Do I have the money for apartments? But with God, anything can happen. Long as I look, He can provide. But I haven't been looking. It's like I'm not putting the God that I know to the test, and I need to start doing that. But I also don't want to jump into the out there in the field and not be wise about how I'm jumping into things. You just can't jump into something just to jump in. You have to also use the wisdom that God has given you. And it's hard to think of between, am I using my wisdom and trusting in God, or just trusting in God and not using my wisdom? Like, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's this thing when you, especially it's not like, I think depending also how you went homeless. When you're kicked out on the street or evicted, I think that's more traumatizing than a person. I can't say more traumatizing, it's a different traumatization, and the way the system also handled you are different. Like, example, if you lost your house by fire or flooding, like a hurricane or something like that, the system treats you better than a person who's went under for eviction or homeless for what else? Eviction, or just somebody kicking you out or stuff like that. The system treats you better. I'm not saying like you will get the same things, but the way people treat you, who are around you, they treat you different. The people who are working there treat you different because everybody knows. You might think that people shouldn't talk about these things, but it's a shelter. It's basically a high school on steroids, and it's kind of sad. I make sure I wasn't up to for any foolishness, but it's just the way it is, right? So you have to be very, very mindful how things are going, and when you get out of the situation, you're like, man, I don't want to get back there. I don't want this to happen. It's very, very weird. It's very, very crazy habits, and I'm fearful. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. He gave me not the spirit of fear, but it's like I can't lie to you and say I'm not fearful of can this happen again. And because I'm the only person, like, I have to make sure that KK is okay. I have to make sure that we're okay and we're thriving. And being who I am, I want to do the best for my child, but also have a better life. And it seems so hard. And then I do the podcast, right? And I do my YouTube channel, right? The podcast is not mine. It's my jobs. And I feel like, I was thinking today, I'm like, is a podcast hindering from me getting other jobs? Because in 2020, I was getting job after job after job, gig after gig. And 2021, I was getting stuff. I feel like it slowed down a little bit last year, and then it slowed down a little bit even slowed down even more this year. I have more opportunities. I got like one more other stuff. But I've been applying for like real jobs, and nobody has got back to me. So I'm like, does God just not want me to have a real job and be more open and really, I started a business. It's called Kdiddavis Cares, and just get grants. I'm trying to do other stuff too. I probably should have just done a nonprofit, but I feel like I have my own business. With a nonprofit, you need to have trustees and all this stuff. I want to be able to have my business and kind of do what I want to do and just get grants and be able. What I want to do, if I didn't tell you already, I want to do care packages for people who are homeless, street homeless, and also shelter homeless. I'm not the kind of person who's like, I'm only sticking up for this kind of people with families or youth or veterans. To me, they're people, no matter what color they are, what background they are, how they become there. I don't care how you got there. I don't care what population you're in. Especially in New York City, they like to break people down in different populations. I don't care what population you're in. I care about if you're a person who need help. And I want to give like socks, pads, probably not tampons, because shock symptoms thing. Baby formulas, Pampers, and I want to be able to put these care packages together. But I also want to, obviously, when I get a grant, I want to be able to pay myself for doing the work. Because people are saying, you just do care packages and that. I need to get paid for what I'm doing. I have a child to feed and rent to pay. I'm not going to be dumb and not be realistic about these things. But I also need to get money to be able to buy the things that I need for these care packages. And also, because I have a business license, I just want to buy stuff at it's not Whole Food. I could buy it in bulk. But right now, I don't have space to put anything in bulk. So right now, I'm just kind of, winging it and hopefully, things. And I found out some things at the Business Expo that I can actually get for people of color. But one of the things I can sign up for, I have to have a business license for a year, and I haven't had it for a year. And it's since I think May 2nd of this year. So I'm just trying to work what I can get and don't be upset, and work out other things that I gotta do for myself. But I also I applied for this job as commission. I don't like commission jobs, and the commission job is also hard for New York City to do. This particular thing is getting people, host families, to be foreign exchange students, and people don't get paid. So it's a whole thing with New York City is economics and having room and all that stuff. So that's been another thing I've been doing. I've tried to do this other thing with take a test. I'm not a good test taker, so that I knew for a fact it wasn't gonna work for me. But they got a refund, and most times things like that you don't get refunds. It is what it is. But that's what I've been working on. That's what I've been doing. That's how I've been living my life right now, and just trying to grow as a person and just to do better for my family. And so I opened another channel. So hopefully this one gets bigger. Hopefully people can ask me homeless questions on here. I'm probably still gonna ask homeless questions on my other channel because it's there and you see the information. But hopefully people can stop asking me. I'm not saying stop like, oh my God, if we do it, like, no. I just want people to mostly come here for the homeless content and get the homeless information more than go to that. That can see more of my personality, where me and KK is going. But that one's gonna be for me, Kdiddavis. I should just take the Davis off, but I feel like it's easy to find. We just put Kdid. The Kdid one is easier. I want you to see my personality, my life, Kdiddavis, KK and Kdid. I think that's what Kdid and KK. I'm not sure. I forgot. That's just me and KK, mommy and daughter stuff, and then it's KK on Fire, which is KK's channel. So I got all that stuff going on. I also got the Hair Voices YouTube, but I don't do that much do it, but you know, Hair Voices is my job's podcast about homelessness, and we do homeless resources on there. I'm sorry if I'm talking extra fast. I feel like I'm not talking that fast, but I'm talking fast. Sorry. So that's what's going on right now. So that's what your girl's having, and yeah, anyway guys, bye. Deuces.